Now, one of the key things or themes that have bubbled up to the surface today has certainly been about the opportunity and potential of AI in this particular sector. And so our next speaker is speaking to the question of how is AI shaping the future of tourism and the tourism sector broadly in South Africa. She is an AI specialist, the CEO and founder of the Innoverse. It's my absolute pleasure to welcome Dr. Avashna Govender to the stage. Can we give her a really warm round of applause, please?
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I am Dr. Avashna Govender, the founder and CEO of the Innoverse, an AI specialist and an empowerment coach. For over a decade, I have been working at the intersection of technology, business, and people. My background is in speech technology, for which I have a PhD, and I've helped build African voices, African speech recognition systems, and natural language processing systems that reflect our local diversity. Today, my focus is on making AI accessible, practical, and impactful for businesses, communities, and our country. And that's why I'm here today, to share with you how AI is shaping the future of South African tourism and what that means for you as business leaders, SMMEs, and decision makers. So why does this conversation matter? Well, as you all know, tourism may not be the single backbone of South Africa's economy, but at an 8.8% GDP, it's smaller than some of the sectors, but it's a vital pillar in our country. It creates hundreds of thousands of jobs, supports small businesses, and shapes how the world sees our country. But global tourism is changing rapidly. AI is transforming, as we saw today amongst all of the talks, how destinations are able to market themselves, how travelers plan and book trips, and how businesses operate day to day. And I believe that if South Africa wants to remain competitive and grow its share of global arrivals, we cannot afford to sit on the sidelines. We must embrace AI now. AI isn't new. It has been around for decades. What matters is how it has evolved over the years and how each stage of the AI journey has shaped tourism. So, starting from the very beginning, AI has actually been around since the 90s, where we started off using rule-based systems, which looked like simple logic systems, such as your filters that helped you find your cheapest flight or your shortest route. We then moved on to robotic process automation, automating repetitive administrative tasks. Airlines and hotels began using RPA for things like invoices, ticketing, and claims processing. Then between 2015 and 2021, we moved into what we call machine learning. And the Minister of Home Affairs has shown that now, with the machine learning engine, we are able to successfully do facial recognition. This is where AI has become really smart. AI is also being used quite often for dynamic processing, as was discussed by the panel earlier, adjusting fares in real time. Hotels are also using this to forecast occupancy. And things like Google Maps are able to recommend the fastest routes to our local attractions. And then in 2022 is when everything changed. ChatGPT was launched. This was a game changer. AI was no longer something that only multi-billion-dollar companies were using or specialized engineers. Suddenly, it has become available to anyone, with all you're needing to do is speak to it in plain English. The launch of ChatGPT exploded this movement. In fact, it became the fastest technology in history to reach 1 million users in just the first 2 months of its release. That moment has marked the democratization of AI, leveling the playing field for every single one of you in this room today, no matter what size your company is, to leverage the power of AI. And since 2025, we have now entered into what we call the agentic era. Now, I know that South Africa is still lagging a little behind. We are still somewhat between the AI automation and the generative AI space. But the big difference with agentic AI, as we have seen now with ChatGPT 5, is that AI is able to act on your behalf with minimal human intervention. It's able to connect to your systems, your Gmail, your emails, and be able to actually book flights, hotels for you with your permission. And then on the horizon is artificial general intelligence. Now, this is where experts in the field believe that perhaps AI might just surpass human intelligence. But it's quite experimental, and only your really big companies like DeepMind and OpenAI are working on this frontier. But the thinking is that AI is going to have the ability to reason and problem solve similar to the way humans do. So as you can see, at each stage of this AI journey, AI has become more powerful and accessible at every stage of the evolution. And in tourism, that means moving from simple booking filters to the possibility of having hyper-personalized, multilingual, and automated travel experiences. Globally, destinations are using AI as a strategic and competitive advantage, and now so can you. So where exactly is AI making an impact? Well, there are 5 main pillars where we can see the biggest gains. In terms of customer experience, more and more companies are investing in chatbots and virtual assistants. They are looking into hyper-personalization for marketing, dynamic pricing and revenue management, operational efficiency, and most important, sustainability and inclusion. Now, I want you to think of these as the building blocks of AI. And next, we're going to go into a little bit more detail where I will share some of the success stories both internationally and locally with some demos as well. Oops. Okay, we're back. Okay, so pillar 1 is looking into chatbots and virtual assistants. At the moment, travelers are expecting quick, seamless responses, whether they want to ask any questions, such as checking in times, directions to your hotel, or any local attractions. And the thing is that with AI, people are starting more and more to expect responses 24/7. Globally, Choice Hotels has shown us this possibility, where they are using a virtual agent that is able to handle 97% of all front desk calls, saving over $2 million a year, which basically then frees up staff to focus on the guests in person and hospitality. Here at home, the Tshwane Tourism Association has also built a WhatsApp chatbot that works like a 24/7 concierge. Visitors can ask about events, attractions, or promotions and get instant responses. And what's the impact of this? With AI, any local business, small B&Bs or guest houses can offer the very same services that 5-star hotels are offering. So now, instead of talking all about it, I want to be able to show you. I want you to imagine a tourist walking into your hotel asking a chatbot, "What can I do in Cape Town tomorrow?" and being able to get the answer instantly in their home language. This is the power of having a multilingual chatbot. It makes South Africa feel welcome in any language, and it's a tool that's affordable for every business in this room. So as you can see, this is a simple AI bot that offers international languages so that all of your tourists can get the FAQ and information in their language of choice. Okay, so moving on to pillar 2, personalization. Travelers these days with ChatGPT, okay, travelers these days with tools like ChatGPT allow for hyper-personalization. Travelers don't want generic packages anymore. They want experiences that are tailored to them, their culture, their interests, and their own budgets. Globally, Booking.com has set the bar quite high. Their platform analyzes browsing history and past bookings, and then send hyper-personalized deal alerts to their customers. Closer to home, even boutique lodges in South Africa are experimenting with this level of hyper-personalization, where they are able to remember room preferences, recommending wines, or preparing customers' favorite meals. AI allows you to scale that personalized touch, making every single one of your guests feel like VIP. And the real shift is this, because only the biggest hotel chains previously could offer this type of service. But now, thanks to conversational AI, any operator, no matter how small you are, can tailor experiences as well as your marketing messages. To bring this to life, I want to show you 2 things. Again, with ChatGPT is the most well-known AI conversational assistant that I'm sure most of you The mic. Okay, there we go. Thank you. Okay, so to bring this to life, I want to show you 2 things. So first of all, a lot of you are probably familiar with ChatGPT, and I'm sure that a lot of you use ChatGPT in this way, where you can ask it to create you an itinerary for a 14-day trip to South Africa for a family of 4 who loves history, wildlife, and food. And of course, it will go on and it will be able to create this in a very detailed and comprehensive way. However, you might ask, okay, so this is great, but how does it work for my business? And this is where going beyond generic tools like ChatGPT can really help you. So I want you to hone in on something called custom GPTs. So in your ChatGPT window, you would see on the left-hand side something called custom GPTs or GPTs. Now, I want you to think of this as back in the day when we had an App Store or we had Google Play Store. Basically, we were able to create apps that were tailored to any need. In the same way, ChatGPT has created a kind of a Play Store that hosts custom AI GPTs. But the good news is that you can create your own GPT that is completely tailored to your business. All you have to do is feed it information, talk to it, tell it all about your business, and there you go, you will have your own personal ChatGPT that can create customized itinerary specifically for your business. And to take it just 1 step further, larger organizations are looking into what we call RAG, Retrieval Augmented Generation. So with RAG, this basically is used by large organizations that are moving towards digitizing all of their data, moving their data into something called data lakes or data warehouses that basically comprise of all of the knowledge of that business. And what RAG does is creates a knowledge base that sits on top of your natural language processing models like ChatGPT, but ones that you own completely. And the benefit of this is that for most businesses, the fear is around confidentiality and sharing confidential information with third-party tools. By using bespoke solutions that integrate RAG, you bypass that risk of confidentiality. Moving on to pillar 3, AI is really useful for dynamic pricing and revenue management. Now we know pricing is one of the most powerful levers for profitability. Globally, airlines like Delta use AI to forecast demand and adjust their fares in real time. Marriott does the same with their hotel rooms and even their staffing schedules. In South Africa, larger hotels and airlines already are using yield management. But what if we could extend this to local operators or local guest houses? Imagine a B&B in Rustenburg being able to set competitive rates dynamically instead of using a static seasonal pricing. In fact, just last night I had a conversation with one of the guests here that mentioned that one of his biggest pain points is that during off-peak seasons, that's where business suffers. But this is where using dynamic pricing can play such a significant role. Because if you can maximize revenue during your peak seasons, which AI can assist you with, then it makes up for the quieter and off-peak seasons. So how many of you have heard of Claude? Raise your hands. Great. Have you been using Claude? So Claude has something called Claude artifacts. And this is where AI really shines, because now people don't need a computer science degree in order to code custom tools that can be hyper-personalized to your business. So here you can see that I've prompted Claude in order to create a tool that can essentially input information regarding your occupancy, your percentage of off-peak and peak pricing. And in just a couple of minutes, you would have a custom tool built for you. Now, of course, my prompt here is very simplistic. The more information that you are able to provide it about your business, the more the AI is going to be able to custom build you a tool that you can use, you can publish, and share with your teams. On the left-hand side, you're also going to be able to see that whilst you don't know how to code, Claude is able to give you a step-by-step guideline in terms of installation, in terms of exactly how to run, modify the tools. All you have to do is prompt it in English to customize the tool in any way that you wish. Okay, so this is going to take a bit of a while. I don't have the fast forward button, so I'm just going to skip over that for now, for the sake of time. Okay, so with pillar 4, we use AI for operations and efficiency. Tourism businesses also, of course, face the challenge of efficiency. Staff are often stretched, really thin, and admin can become really overwhelming. And of course, whenever there's operational mistakes, that's going to cost businesses money. AI can take much of that load. Globally, Hilton uses AI to predict maintenance issues before they become costly breakdowns. They also use it to optimize housekeeping schedules so that rooms are cleaned exactly when needed, not too early and not too late. Here in South Africa, our own Hotel Sky in Johannesburg has introduced robots to handle luggage and room service during COVID. But I want you to realize that the goal is not to replace people. It is to free staff to do what they do best, which as South Africans is to deliver authentic, warm hospitality. For SMMEs, AI doesn't need to mean building robots. It can just be as simple as automating your bookings, inventory management, or being able to use AI to effectively allocate your staff. The time saved is the time that you can use to reinvest into guest experiences. Let me show you another example. Imagine you've got a whole bunch of TripAdvisor reviews. Instead of reading each and every single review, you can ask Claude to generate you a tool that allows you to upload your reviews, to perform sentiment analysis in order for you to get actionable insights in terms of where there are inefficiencies or bottlenecks in your business. So once again, Claude goes on, it codes you the tool. The more information that you're able to provide it, the better. In this case, in order for demo purposes, I've asked it to use dummy information in order to show you how the sentiment analysis kicks in order to properly review each and every review in terms of positive, negative. You'll see, hopefully, if it gets there fast enough, that it will be able to show you all of the keywords that exist within those reviews in terms of all of the things that your guests have had problems with, as well as all of the positive things. Okay. We're going to just have to skip past that. Another great thing about AI is that now we are seeing more and more businesses shift into what we call dashboards or AI-driven insights. And the beauty of this, especially with conversational AI, is that it's able to process unstructured data. So that is using data in the format that you already have it stored in your businesses and organizations. And so the beauty of this is that AI has the ability to have this bird's eye view across all of your departments, having all of the information in order to help you run your business a lot more efficiently. So you can imagine having access to dashboards with this level of insight that will allow you to make immediate actionable changes in order to run your business a lot faster. And finally is Pillar 5, sustainability and inclusion. Tourism growth must be inclusive as well as environmentally sustainable. Globally, Hilton reduced energy usage by 36% using AI-driven HVAC systems. Amsterdam is using AI and camera data in order to monitor crowds and redirect tourists to less congested areas, addressing over-tourism. Here at home, Cape Town Tourism has established an AI hub to explore ethical and sustainable AI adoption. And AI tools are beginning to shine a spotlight on our local guest houses, local lodges, and artisans, businesses that often don't have the budget to appear on all global platforms. This is extremely critical because AI doesn't just reduce costs, it can level the playing field for all businesses. It allows local tourism operators to get the same visibility as large five-star hotels, as well as the benefits of growth that can be widely shared.
Welcome to South Africa. We're so happy to have you here. You've arrived in a place filled with beauty, culture, and unforgettable experiences. Take your time to explore, taste, and enjoy every moment. May your journey be safe, joyful, and filled with wonderful memories.
Okay, so I just want to do a check. How many of you think that that's a human voice? Okay. And how many of you think that that's an AI voice? Okay, just a couple of hands. Okay, well, this video was created completely in AI. Even the voice, the pictures, the videos. And this is the beauty of conversational AI, is that now you can convert anything from text to video, text to speech, text to images, text to absolutely anything using just plain English. So you don't need a computer science degree in order to use AI. And this is why ChatGPT and tools similar to ChatGPT like Claude, Gemini, Microsoft Copilot has made such a huge impact. This isn't just about technology anymore. It's about identity, inclusion, and ensuring that South Africa is heard in its own accent. A lot of the time, especially things like text-to-speech over the years, South Africa was left behind because of our languages being under-resourced. But now, the tools make it possible to create multilingual chatbots, to create voices that represent our accents and our languages. So the message is clear. AI is not this future trend anymore. It's a present-day competitive advantage. And as we saw from all of the examples today, the playbook is written. Our challenge is not to reinvent the wheel, but to try our best to localize the solutions that already work and adapt it to our unique mix of large operators, SMMEs, and community-based tourism. So, what do we need in order to succeed? For meaningful adoption, we need skills, of course, infrastructure, and policies across the sector. We need support for SMMEs through affordable tools and training. And the government needs supportive regulations, ethical guidelines, and funding that will assist with bridging the digital divide. And I want to emphasize this because this is one of the most common questions that get asked. Is AI going to replace jobs? No, AI isn't about replacing jobs. It isn't about replacing humans because of the human connection that we have. But I like to say that AI will not replace your job. A person who's learning AI might. So as with all AI presentations, I have to disclaim that, of course, with AI, we need to navigate the challenges of AI adoption. And what this looks like, of course, is protecting data, privacy, and ensuring that your travelers and the tourists feel like they can trust you with their information. Businesses need to implement ethical strategies within their organizations. Things like sharing confidential information using third-party tools without the right training of knowing the risks of being able to do that. And most importantly, making sure that nobody gets left behind by making sure that we train and we upskill everyone in terms of having equitable access and equal opportunities across the country. South Africa's advantage isn't technology alone. It's our culture, it's our diversity, and it's our natural beauty. AI doesn't replace any of that. It just amplifies it. It helps us to tell our story better, reach more travelers, and deliver experiences that only South Africa can offer. So where do we go from here? For business leaders, my recommendation is to start by adopting an AI-first mindset. People need to think of AI as being the new operating system. For SMMEs, start small. The most important thing is to just get started. Start with low-cost AI tools. Start with automating things. There's so many businesses now that run with just a solo entrepreneur, coupled with an AI that can do multiple things. And for government, It's so important to provide the skills and infrastructure that make adoption possible for all. South Africa has always been a land of possibility with AI. The next great tourism story doesn't need to come from Dubai or from Singapore. It should come from us, and it can be written here by us together. Thank you.